This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Damien.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane. This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
My name is Kid Lat, the Boy Wonder, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Boy Wonder, Kid Lat.
Thank you for having me, Mr. J.
Absolutely. And where will Kid Lat be stopping crime next, event-wise?
Well, you could probably find me at places like Rocket Pro Wrestling in Joliet, places like Frontline Pro Wrestling out in Wisconsin, ARW out in Indiana, and in places like that. Make sure to follow me at Kid Lat Boy Wonder on Instagram. That's an underscore between every word. I love an underscore. And Kid Lat Boy Wonder on TikTok as well, preferably. So, thank you.
So, a hero in the ring, a villain when it comes to social media handles.
Yeah, unfortunately so. Yes.
Merchandise.
I don't really have a page for that kind of thing. Just I will be vending and selling at whatever venue you could find me at, but I don't really have a page for that, unfortunately. So
okay, and you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. So let's get into it. The one thing you kind of left out of where we'll be seeing you next is that you do have a proper tour of Japan coming up in April, no?
That is correct. Yes, that is correct. I will be touring with Flow, Fantastic League of Wrestling, as a representative of theirs for FTO, that's Fight Troop Oita, out in Oita, Japan, in Kyushu. It's going to be a great time. We have 5 of us representatives from Flow. I'll be taking on their luchador specialist for their young gun over there, Liam Eric, part of the Nuevos Guerreros group. Very dangerous aerial-like competitor, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I've watched his tape for a while, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like in person over there. It will be for their New Age Championship over there at FTO.
And what does it kind of mean to you to, obviously, Japan is one of the bigger countries when it comes to pro wrestling, to not only get to travel there, but, they're trusting you with a title match as well.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, Mr. J. It means, it means the world, right? That's like being able to do this and travel and compete for titles and travel internationally as well as domestically, but especially internationally. That's one of the benchmarks that us as professional wrestlers work towards, and being trusted with a spot, especially by my good friend, the promoter and owner of Fantastic League of Wrestling, John Bullard, who's been a very influential force in my career thus far. It means a lot because knowing him for so long, since when I first started doing this. Being able to be put into a position by him such a big deal over there with FTO, such a promotion like that, especially, with it being in Japan it absolutely means the world to me. So,
obviously, you're there for pro wrestling. You're going to be excited for pro wrestling. But, being in Japan, is there anything else you'd like to do while you're there? Non-wrestling?
Well, Mr. J, it's hard to ignore, the culinary experiences over there that I'm
Yes.
certainly looking forward to. I mean, say what you will about Japanese cuisine itself, but one thing Mr. Bullard did make sure to note to me as we will be sort of arriving in the nighttime, or most likely that night. A lot of stuff may be closed, but around where we're staying will be a 7-Eleven, and I hear they do 7-Eleven a little differently over there in Japan, so I'm absolutely looking forward to that.
Okay. I don't think I've heard a lot of people say, I'm looking forward to 7-Eleven.
You gotta understand, Mr. J. It's something special of it.
Yes.
7-Eleven in Japan, it means more over there. Simply.
No, I know what you mean. I've heard legendary tales about the 7-Elevens in Japan. All right. Well, going to Japan, coming back to America, Juliet, specifically, can you tell us about the issues you've been having with Damien Grey? It seems like he wants to play the Palpatine to your Anakin Skywalker, no?
Yeah, well, I'm no stranger to Damien Grey. This isn't my first sort of back and forth series I've had with the guy. A couple years back, around my first or second year ish, I was competing at this place called Ileana Pro Wrestling, known as IPW, down in Richmond Park, Illinois. And I had many a run in with Mr. Grey. IPW in a way sort of served as a call up to Rocket Pro itself. So now that we're here and we're both here, again, I'm no stranger to him, no stranger to his tactics. Although it is alarming to me that someone could remain unchanged for such a long time and still remain so diabolical. But it's hard, so many times. He has the upper hand on me right now with the win-to-loss ratio for sure. And if I were to say it wasn't getting to me, that would be a lie, Mr. J. It absolutely is. Doing the whole superhero thing, one of the big dangers when you have enemies is that probably more meaningful than a victory to them is sort of reclamation of your heroic nature. They're trying to turn you to the dark side, as you said, be the Palpatine to my Skywalker. But if I owe anything to the Rocket Pro audience, it's to stay firm in my justice and my beliefs. And while that doubt may creep a lot closer than I would have liked to admit it has, I have to remain strong in that. You know what I mean?
No, I completely understand. And, you said, somebody staying as diabolical as Damien has. I could make the argument that he's gotten worse. I mean, he kidnapped your dad, no?
He did. Yes, he did. He did kidnap my father. You want to believe, right? No matter who it is out there in the world, you want to believe that people are redeemable. Am I right in making that assumption there, Mr. J?
I would say so.
Yeah, so Damien Grey is one of those rare cases where, maybe pure evil does exist. Maybe not everybody is as redeemable as you'd hope. You know what I'm saying?
No, I gotcha. I mean, we shall see as the future progresses. But, it seems that in Frontline, we are getting to see a new version of Kid Lat as a whole. You'll be competing as Just Joe at their next show, no?
Oh, that's actually Rocket Pro.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah. But no, that's okay. To address that, yes. Again, as much as I'd like to believe, say, staying strong in my heroic identity, Damien Gray's one thing, Steve Michaels is another. The Chicago Bear Hug, a large individual. And I was on the receiving end of one of his attacks. And it does change you a little bit. And I would be upset to claim that this is a permanent change, but I have to take some time to find myself over there, I think, for a little bit.
Okay. So maybe not. We're kind of exploring new avenues.
Well, we'll see, Mr. We'll you know, it's not an easy choice to make over there, you know.
I gotcha.
Everyone needs a little break from heroism, even the best of us. I'm not saying I'm the best of us, but you know, it gets hard.
Well, I mean, I get, taking a rest from that, but I feel like that would maybe taking a break from the heroism would kind of cause you to, maybe listen to Damien Grey a little bit more. But maybe I'm wrong on that.
Let's maybe upcoming in March, right? It'll be me versus Dat Boy Rozzy, and Rozzy's not exactly a saint either, and I still intend him to bring him to justice, 100%. So maybe you have a point there, and I'm a little more in a vulnerable position, but I want to believe I wouldn't stoop that low.
All right. Well, you do have friends, and you do have a tag team partner in Thunder and Lightning. Can you tell us about Adonis Allen and your relationship with him?
Yeah, so a little fun fact. Adonis Allen is my roommate. He's in the living room right now playing video games. Sort of in a sort of peeling the curtain back manner. I started training at Wrestle League when I was just nearing the end of 15 years old. And there wasn't a whole lot of younger competitors training at the time. But we did have sort of, when I came in, it was sort of the start of Wrestle League was trying to do sort of youth program kind of thing with 15 and up, trying to train them and get into the sport. So I there was a lot of younger people who came and went, and I was there an entire year's worth of coming and going of these younger talents. And I was thinking, it sucks, but I might just end up being the only one to stick around. And I was thinking that for a little bit, but then Adonis Allen showed up. And it was like, it was a gift from the wrestling gods, honestly, to have Adonis Allen around. Obviously, we live each other. I consider him my best friend. We have our quarrels every now and then. But at the end of the day, it's my brother. And and because of that, because we spent so much time together, it translates to in-ring chemistry, which is why I think we function so well as a tag team. So,
what are your superhero quarrels about?
just little things, saving people methodology. I want to help older ladies cross the street more, and he wants to save cats from trees, obviously, because that's it's kind of his thing. There's stuff like that. Nothing crazy.
That being said, what is a pet peeve about Alan that you just don't understand?
There's not a whole lot to pick from. He's a wonderful guy. Although I will say, for some reason, when we head up north to Marshfield, Wisconsin, he ends up in the wrong crowd over there sometimes with that dastardly Rory Shields and Jack Sirius over there. I don't think they're a very good influence on him, and I'd like to see something done about that. Maybe I'll take that into my own hands. What do you think?
I would say so. And I would say keep him away from Damien Grey as well.
Absolutely. No question about that. Perhaps we should keep every superhero away from Damien Grey.
I think that there's a couple of superheroes that would go up against Damien Grey. There are Yodas in this world.
Certainly.
That being said, can you tell us about the Cat Brothers?
Sorry, one more time?
The Cat Brothers.
The Cat Brothers?
Yes. You and Adonis or the Cat Brothers?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the Krat brothers. My apologies. I thought you were making a play on his moniker there, but no, yeah, you're right. That was Halloween. You know how we do for Halloween. We dress up. Um, Adonis, to his credit, is he's very social media minded. So he's always trying to get me to do TikToks and Instagram reels, and usually I'm for it. And then that day, it was for a show for Wrestle League. It was our Halloween show, and we're like, we didn't really have a costume in mind, but we both really like the Krat brothers growing up. Wild Krats. That's kind of both of our jams. So we decided to do it, and then sort of blew up out of nowhere. So that's the story behind that. All credit to Adonis on that one.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, you had another tag team partner in Josh Price at one point, no?
This is true. A bit of a sore spot, but if you do desire to dig, I know that's your journalistic duty. I will talk about them.
Yeah, tell us about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I mean, in my early days of Frontline Pro, I was just a young spry superhero. I didn't really have any much direction going there. I was wrestling guys like Rock and Rivera a lot. Where I was having sort of singles feuds that I didn't really have a sort of a path over there to get to the top. But one day we had this tag team randomizer tournament, and it just so happened that around that time, former Frontline Pro World Heavyweight Champion Josh Price was coming back from a long-awaited injury, and I was lucky enough. I won the lottery that day, and I was able to team with Mr. Price. Josh, and we became very, very close friends rather quick, in an unexpected way, because those who know Josh Price knows he's many consider me, I don't want to brag, but many consider me sort of like a comedic, funny kind of guy,
Mhm.
I don't want to come off boastful that way, but that's how I'm perceived. Josh, however, not the same, not at all. A very serious, cutthroat kind of fella. So on paper, as lucky as I was to draw his number, it really should not have worked out. But we became friends rather quickly. Ended up picking up the Frontline Pro tag team titles. Defended those for a rather long time. Eventually, we did lose them. And then around that time, I also suffered an injury, which took me out of action for a while. But that freed up Josh to go on a singles run, sort of, a redemption of sorts to win back his Frontline Pro World title, which he ended up doing against Ben McCoy. Again, not to brag, with a little bit of interference from yours truly, but and that was one of the highlights of my career. Obviously, was to see Josh sort of finish his story in a way and get that title back, and I was really glad to be a part of it. But eventually, he started picking up this feud with this guy. I don't know if you know him. His name's Warhorse. He's rather infamous.
Yes.
Jake Parnell. And I'll be honest, Mr. J, I was a little nervous for Josh, and Josh is, absolutely, he's one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen with my own two eyes. But one would argue Warhorse is simply just on another level compared to everybody. So I was nervous, and unfortunately, during a match for the title, things were looking down. I tried to insert myself where I shouldn't have, and it did end up costing Josh the title, and ended up sort of costing our friendship as well. So it just I appreciate you obviously asking the question. That's your job here as a media person, but sort of a sore spot for me, unfortunately.
I gotcha. But, when it comes to superhero stories, people do come back around. So
we'll see, right? You can only hope.
Maybe, it's a sore spot now, but maybe it will end as a good story in the end.
I would sure hope so.
Well, you mentioned that injury that you had, that put you out. But I would say that that was one of your biggest matches, the six-man tables elimination match against Pestilence, no?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Obviously, on paper, it's a huge deal, right? It was me and Thundercat Adonis Allen teaming with our at the time friend Hijo del Enigma, who's from Espiritu Pro out in Puerto Rico, phenomenal worker. And it was against Pestilence, and Pestilence, their reputation, precedes himself. That's Quinn Whittick. That's at the time Joey Dalton, now known as Stephen Flo, and Christian, the brother of Quinn Whittick.
Mr. One Night Stand.
Mr. One Night Stand, that's correct. I know he's been on this podcast as well, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously on paper, such a stacked match. It's so unfortunate the way it went down. If there's one match, obviously you want to take an injury back, but if there's one match that obviously I'd love another crack at, would be that 100%. And I felt so bad, I felt like I let my team down in a way, even though, to the credit of Hijo del Enigma and, of course, Adonis Allen, they pulled away with the win that night somehow, some way. So,
is it a bittersweet victory? Because that was like one of the hottest, I'll say this, the Chicago crowd will always tell you how they feel, whether it's positive or negative. And that was one of the more hot rivalries when it came to Wrestle League, no?
No, 100%, absolutely. And, that just adds the fuel to the fire on, at the time I went out and all I wanted to do is to come back and get to the spot we were at. Because, we worked so hard with that feud to sort of get to the point where we're at. I have to give credit to places like Frontline and Rocket Pro and Wrestle League. They sort of found ways while I was out to keep me in the mix in a way. And, at the time I was scared for a little bit that, maybe I had squandered the chance at a true tag team titles run with Wrestle League with Adonis, but life has a funny way of working itself out. And, we got back to that spot and had a pretty good time after that. So.
And like you said, despite being injured, and just staying on the sidelines and, not necessarily doing anything, you were still very actively involved with every company. So what was something that you kind of learned about yourself during that time? Obviously not being able to wrestle, but still being involved in the action.
Well, if there's one thing that I say I learned about myself, it maybe it's less about myself, but I would say it's just that I'm extremely lucky to have such good friends and supporters who believe in me. There was absolutely no obligation for Rocket Pro or Frontline or Wrestle League to keep me in the mix, but they went out their way to find ways. So obviously, I give my thanks to the Shelleys and Kevin Palmer, Nuke. I give my thanks to Bugs Moran and Shogun Chris Logan. And obviously I give my thanks to Ben McCoy. I owe my thanks to Ben McCoy on many a thing, but particularly that. They had no obligation, and it was simply out of the kindness of their own heart that they still gave me opportunity for work at the time. So.
Talking about, all these, promotions you worked for, can you tell us about working for, JCW? One of the bigger independents on the indies.
Yeah, I mean, it was, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I got to work the Wraith, and I got to work Caleb Connolly, and it still hasn't really registered in my head that if you go on my online databases, it says Kid Lat versus Caleb Connolly for the JCW American Championship. That still hasn't really registered to me quite yet, and it's been almost a year, so I don't know if it ever will. But it was awesome, and just going back to my previous point of having those friends and supporters that believe in me, it was It was Quinn Whittick, also known as Cocaine, over there at JCW, that really got the spots for me and Disco Ray. And Disco Ray, who received another opportunity recently and absolutely knocked it out of the park, that he's touring with them as we speak.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to be thankful for. I've sort of lucked out with my supporter base. Quinn Whittick, I owe so much of my career to. He was one of my first ever trainers over there at Wrestle League. I can't say anything that would accreditate his career more than it obviously is. So not even really gonna try. I mean, he's the man, obviously. But he has no obligation to give back to his guys. But he's kind of like LeBron James in a way. He likes to make sure that his teammates are also getting those rings, getting those championships. He's bringing them along. He's absolutely a leader among the Wrestle League camp. So just very thankful for that opportunity.
You mentioned it not necessarily registering yet. Are you the type of person that takes in the moment, or is it something that kind of sets in afterwards?
Mr. J, I would really like to say yes, but unfortunately, I really don't think so. I do have a tendency to just hyper focus and lock in on the task at hand, and then just sort of thinking about the magnitude of the whole situation later. Funny enough, that car ride home from the first day of JCW that me and Disco Ray had, it really never really hit us until we were like halfway home after getting gas. What we just did, I was able to work the Wraith, and he had worked Effie that night, so it was just it's crazy. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff in my career that I don't know if I've really registered yet. Recently, this past September at Mondo Lucha, which is a phenomenal promotion out in Milwaukee, I was able to wrestle Shane Mercer, and had it not been for there's this clip of him throwing me into the crowd, which I've done a lot of social media milking from. Had it not been for that clip, I don't know if I'd really register that either, that had happened. Japan still hasn't really registered for me yet. So, I mean, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff is after the fact, for sure. Not as much as in the moment guy as I'd like to be. So,
I gotcha. I would definitely suggest, when you do get out there in Japan, definitely try and soak in the moment for sure.
I think so. I think I'll definitely be soaking in the 7-Eleven for sure. I promise you that part.
Well, we know that. But like you said, at JCW, you got to compete for the American title and only your second match for the company. So what does that kind of mean to you that, they liked what they saw in the first match, giving you a nod in the second?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. It's just having it. Sorry, going into the days itself, there was no actually really a guarantee of a second day, really even. There was barely a guarantee for the first day. We sort of went into it knowing that Disco was going to be going against Effie, and then that maybe an opportunity might pop up for me, or that there was some segment like backstage recording stuff that might pop up, which did also end up happening, which was awesome. But being able to wrestle the Wraith over there in JCW, again, hasn't registered, but I do go back and watch those matches all the time because it is a piece of work I'm proud of. So I mean, just remembering that day, having the backseat boys who do a lot of production work over at JCW. They're really the ones who told me, like, hey, Jay liked what he saw that day, and he'd like to have you back tomorrow. Like that was really awesome for me. So.
No, the boys at Wrestle League, they're known for, and like their disc tracks, their music videos.
Oh boy.
Can that mean a different type of person? I'm just gonna ask, can you tell us about Ragnar Come Home?
Yes. So, all wrestling aside, Ragnar Come Home is probably the most fun I've ever had in the business so far. Frontline has been so beneficial to me in my career, because not only for the work opportunities that come with it, but also Ben McCoy has sort of trusted me to sort of take me off the leash when it comes to the promo game a little bit, to making video segments at the very least to promote shows and matches, which has been a lot of fun. He's letting me get away with a lot of ideas. And during my run with Josh Price last year, we were set to go up against defend our titles against Chris Merrick and Aaron Xavier. Chris Merrick being the man who was formerly known as Ragnar the Ruthless. And I was trying to find sort of like a creative outlet for how I wanted to advertise this match. And I was scrolling on TikTok, and I came across a video reminiscing about Gary Come Home from SpongeBob.
Yes.
Like, I do really miss the Ragnar gimmick. And then it just sort of happened. I just sort of did that. And then I fast forward a year, and I get to run a singles campaign with Mr. Merrick, which was a phenomenal match. I'm very proud of that one as well. But I was like, how can I step it up? I thought I was like, I don't know how I could outdo myself the first time. And I was thinking about the guys at Wrestle League, and I live here with Adonis Allen, who's a musician and rapper in his own right. And I was like, well, there's only really one natural progression to this sort of thing. And we just did. And it was a lot of fun. And I got to put tinfoil in my teeth and act like it was a grill. So, that was just a blast.
What influence did Disco Ray have on that? Because he was a part of the first music video.
Yeah, well, Disco in general is just one of my best friends, and he's, as great of a guy he is, everybody knows Disco is a little cuckoo sometimes.
Yeah.
Meaning, and this is not me taking advantage of his kindness, but meaning that he will do any crazy idea you ask of him. So when I had the idea of the original Ragnar Come Home, which fun fact, Disco Ray, biggest SpongeBob fan in the world, probably, and so he was just so stoked to give me some choreography for it. So that was a blast. So well, a little fun story about Disco Ray and SpongeBob, if you don't mind me going on this tangent.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's this in the SpongeBob canon, I guess. I'm not as knowledgeable as SpongeBob as a guy like Disco is, but I know some ball. Squidward obviously is known as both a clarinet musician as he is an artist, right?
Yes.
And he's got a famous painting, a self-portrait known as Bold and Brash. I don't know if you know Bold and Brash, but it's sort of like a squiggly painting of SpongeBob. I was hanging out with Disco Ray once at the mall. We were just hanging out, and we stumbled upon Hot Topic, and we saw a real-life printed painting thing of Bold and Brash. So we both decided to get one, and it is now hanging above my bed as his copy of it is hanging above his. So we both have that. So that's really fun.
I love that. That's awesome. I'm just out of curiosity, Ragnar, a Broly guy, I would say. What was his reaction to that?
Nothing besides pure rage. Absolutely nothing. Can't really sugarcoat it in any certain way. Yeah, not happy about it. So it's added fuel to the fire, and that's kind of what we want, As much as a superhero, you want to stay honorable in your tactics, and I try. I try. I'm never against a mind game or two, Sometimes you got to do it. You got to do it, especially if it's funny, especially if it's a rage bait. Then it helps.
Do you think that we'll see another track like that for any upcoming matches or rivalries?
Nothing on the itinerary that I know for sure coming up, but I would not rule it out. I would not take it out of the equation. Certainly it's a lot of fun. And especially if I get Adonis and Disco to help me again, then yeah, almost certainly, right?
Oh, yeah. All right. I think it's time for Kid Lat's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I recently was able to have the opportunity to compete up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And I was able to receive the opportunity from my good friend Rob Stardom. But I was able to travel up there with my friend Shaq Jordan. And I was lucky enough to compete in a Fatal 4-Way with Shaq Jordan during that event. Something about Manitoba, they don't tell you when you get there. It's not on the Travelpedia or anything. They kind of have an issue with yellow jackets, like wasps and stuff like that. And something that I don't really talk about, you don't really, I don't say it a lot either, is I've sort of had this history with bees and yellow jackets and wasps. I've been stung like 8 times in my life. It just, for some reason, keeps happening. And particularly, I get attacked when I'm wearing the black and yellow, when I'm sort of repping their colors. They sort of take an offense to it.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
So, me and Shaq Jordan, we make our way up to Canada. It was awesome. It was great. Spent a lot of good quality time with Shaq. We're about to go up for a match, and this pain, this unbearable pain, sort of hits me right here in the forehead. I'm like, what is that? And I go grab it, and there's a yellow jacket hanging out of my face.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and right before he went out. So I got stung in the face, and then you think that'd be the end of it. But that whole day in Canada, it just kept happening. I just kept getting stung by yellow jackets, and nobody told me, nobody warned me beforehand that this was a thing about Winnipeg. You mean, I didn't know there was so much of my natural enemy there. So, obviously I'll be hopefully heading back there in April. So.
And I would imagine with long sleeves, maybe a mask.
Perhaps, maybe an entire brand turnaround with the colors. Maybe if it's so be it,
That being said, you've always had yellow and black. Have you ever considered mixing up the colors?
It has crossed my mind, especially with tag team stuff. Me and Adonis used to talk about maybe doing a yellow and blue mix, as those are kind of our colors. In terms of single stuff, it doesn't come up much. For some reason, when you're a kid and you want to be a wrestler, you sort of have an idea of who you want to be, like your gimmick and stuff when you're younger. And I never really truly had that per se. I never, I wasn't really dead set on the superhero thing, I'll be honest. But for some reason, I was really set on having yellow and black be my colors. Those are always just my favorite colors when I was younger. So.
Okay, so we're set on black and yellow.
We'll see. I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling out anything, but I like it so far.
Fair enough, but maybe not for Canada.
No, maybe not.
That being said, here at Wrestling Wit, we like to say, everybody is nerdy about something. Everybody geeks out, fanboys for something. What is Kid Lat nerdy about?
That's an excellent question, Mr. J. Because a lot of people think, with the whole superhero occupation, that I'm a big superhero nerd, and I do like superheroes. But if there was something that I could not stop talking about, if you got me talking about it, it is American football. I'm the biggest Chicago Bears fan. Debatably out there, I do a fantasy football league with people in the Midwestern professional wrestling scene. I do a dynasty league with my family that I care very deeply about. I love football so much. If I'm not watching tape, I'm probably watching tape of Caleb Williams. More than I should be. This season was an absolute blast. Now there's a lot of rumors of the move to Indiana. Frankly, I don't care. Frankly, I'm still going to be a Bears fan no matter what. So, it's big football nerd, big football guy.
I gotcha. Who was you going for the Super Bowl? Was it the Patriots or the Seahawks?
That's correct. The funny thing about the Seahawks is in the NFC divisional round, the Bears lost to the Rams, and it was very close. And there's a couple players on the Rams that I'm not fond of because they're old division rivals of the Bears, those being Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams, former Lion, former Packer. So when they beat us, I heard a little extra, especially because Devontae Adams, took to talking a little trash. So when they went up against the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game, I was dead set on the Seahawks, burying them 6 feet under. And I'm very glad that they did. So once they did, once Sam Darnold and the crew beat them and faced off against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, my allegiance was already set. I was already so thankful for the Seahawks that they did that. That I was completely all for the blue and green squad that day. And I'm glad that it was a win in such a dominant fashion.
I gotcha. Yeah, I was. You're probably not gonna like this, but I'm actually from Los Angeles. So.
It's you seem okay for now.
You don't
I'm not gonna hold it against
I'm
you.
not a football fan.
Okay.
The only time I've been in SoFi was for WrestleMania.
Gotcha. Well, that's not a bad reason to be there. SoFi, though, for the record, all hate towards the Rams. I'm not taking that away. SoFi it's an amazing facility. For sure. It looks pretty cool.
Arena, for sure.
Yeah. I'll give them that.
All right. So, big Bears fan, you mentioned fantasy football. Obviously, maybe rivals in the ring, also rivals in fantasy football. Motivation Mike's a part of that,
Yes. Yes, he is. Yes. He's a former champion of the league, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, so much can be said about my history with Motivation Mike. I hate his guts. I don't like him. I'm not a fan of him. I don't acknowledge. I acknowledge that he's a good wrestler, but that hurts to say even. But I will acknowledge, with no shame, that the man does know ball. He's a Bears fan, and when he talks football, he knows what he's talking about. One of my the league is open to everyone who's interested, but one of the requirements I do have for the league is, one, I have to know you, and two, I have to know that you know football. Like, a lot of people say they're football fans. They don't really know as much as I'd like them to be a part of this league. So all 20 guys who are in it currently, they're certified ball knowers, which includes Motivation Mike, obviously, to a higher extent, as he is unfortunately, a former champion of the league.
So maybe, obviously, don't like Mike, but obviously there's maybe some respect because he knows ball and he's also a Bear fan.
Yeah, unfortunately, an unfortunate level of respect there.
I gotcha. All right. I think it's time for the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Man, that's such a good question. Oh, wow. I think thematically with the superhero thing, and although he's more of a villain, I'm a big rap guy, and I do love MF Doom, and I think we need to have No Caps and Doomsday on that track for sure as the 1 and 2, 100%, for to sort of fit the comic booky vibe of it all. And I think maybe also on that track, a song I've been listening to a lot recently is Starman, David Bowie's Starman. That I think that would also be a pretty cool for a superhero film as well. So,
Okay. Definitely a solid 3 picks to say the least. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays Kid Lat? And you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
of course. It's embarrassing to say I have thought about this. I have. No, I'm kidding. I think he's obviously experienced in the superhero field. It might be a little difficult as he is already known for the role he plays, but I think Tom Holland would make such a good Kid Lat, I think.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I think he would know how to do the role.
I agree. He's very young looking. He's obviously trained in gymnastics and that sort of thing. So I think he could maybe do some Hurricane Ranas and such. So
Hell yeah.
I think he's a good pick.
Now, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you and your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Wow. Well, we have to have Adonis Allen in some capacity. It's just who could pull off Adonis Allen. Do you want me to ask him?
If you want to, you can phone a friend.
Adonis, you come here. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want, but I have to ask you a question. Who would play you in a movie?
Well, I was just watching a TikTok about Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
That's the person that came to mind, but I don't think it's Michael B. Jordan.
Sure, we could lock it in. I like that answer.
Okay, Michael B. Jordan.
Let's see Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Allen.
Gotcha.
This is that. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Oh man. Michael Cera as Motivation Mike. I don't even know why. That's such an obvious one, right? That writes itself. Why do we even think? Like, why do we even take a second for that one? I mean, that was a given. That was a shoo-in.
And you got one more.
I know. That one's harder. The second one was probably the easiest one. Man, I mean, who should be that guy? I want to say like a Quinn Whittick or a Josh Price, but again, I'm more so blanking on the actors. I'm not as knowledgeable as actors as I'd like to be.
That's fine. I mean, we could leave it up to casting if you need to.
I think so. I think we're gonna lock in Quinn Whittick for now, and we're just gonna have to figure it out from there.
Fair enough. All right. Well, this is sounding like a fantastic movie, a blockbuster to say the least, and you could pre-order the tickets now.
Yes.
On to a controversial subject: pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Man, I really want to walk out of this with a reputation here, Mr. J. And you're putting me in a bad position. Because I kind of like it. I guess I kind of like it. I don't mind it. I don't mind Hawaiian. I can go Hawaiian sometimes.
Okay, so you're pro pineapple on pizza.
I am. Yeah. The cat's out the bag.
The lat's out of the bag.
Oh, nice one. That was good.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh, dude, I love Pokemon so much. That could be another one. Answer to that previous question where I said football. It could also be Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I've been called Pikachu a lot, but I don't want to say Pikachu because that's too obvious of a cop out. Given that I do spend a lot of my time in the air, I would like an electric flying type. I think is probably the most accurate here. I don't know if you know Emolga from Generation 5. It's sort of a Pikachu-esque kind of Pokemon, but it's a flying squirrel. So I think an Emolga would be my spirit Pokemon.
Okay. Well, we definitely haven't had that one on the show yet. So.
I know. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to Pokemon as well. So.
No, we're all here for it. Now, we love the late, great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
I do not.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail. 'Cause a Doug can't spell.
Nice, man.
Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show.
That's good.
Trying to keep the memory alive.
Love that.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Man, that's a good question. I'm open to the idea. I'm open to the idea. Maybe in the past I would be not open to it, but I feel like I'm trying to work on expanding my heart and my mind to new experiences. So if a Rock, not the Rock, has a problem with me, then time, place, you know where to find me, Mr. A Rock. And I'll let you know erosion that you haven't experienced in centuries. So.
Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a tungsten mat match. That's a big mat match.
That's awesome.
Yes, a 2-week arm mat match.
It's great. I'm aware of some of Mr. Mike's work over at Mystery, so that doesn't surprise me at all. So.
Yes, working the hard cam.
That's right.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Still hopefully, doing this. Obviously, I love wrestling so much. I'm not. I've been asked, the what's the end goal with this a lot, but I do, as much as I'm not an in the moment guy, as we've established, I do like to enjoy the ride and enjoy the stuff as they come. But if I were to lock down a goal for the next 5 years, and it is, so thankfully starting to come to fruition this year, really, is that I think what I want out of this the most is I want to measure my success in miles traveled. I want to get there internationally, out there as much as possible. I'm super excited for Japan. Hopefully once that tour ends, there's opportunity to come back to that at some point. I can't elaborate on too much of the other stuff that's coming up, but there will be more international opportunities lined up this year as well. But I just, I'd like to see as much of the world, and particularly the wrestling world, as much as possible, and doing this in particular as a means to get there as well. So.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off you as a pro wrestler?
Yes. As I previously mentioned him, Shaq Jordan, who's one of the best workers, not only in Chicago, not only in the Midwest, but I think out there in the world. We had a match at ARW out in Hammond, Indiana. That's up on their YouTube channel, and it was just an absolute blast. And I had such a good time doing it, and it's definitely definitely one of my my proudest piece of work there. So yeah, Shaq Jordan versus Kid Lat at ARW. I forgot the exact name of the show, unfortunately, but it was sometime this summer, so it's still up there and it's not far. So
Perfect. And if it is indeed on YouTube, I could definitely grab that match from the YouTube page and put a link to it in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. J.
Absolutely. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Oh boy.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Rey Mysterio.
Worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler? Oh man. He's not actually the worst, but Motivation Mike. But he's not actually the worst.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Oh, Adonis Allen, of course.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Oh shoot. Dang it. Oh, that's a good question. Oh man. Give me Kit Wilson's currently.
Definitely a banger. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Alive and well.
We would have also accepted tastes great on toast. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
It's a fruit, no, because it's a product of a plant and not a part of a plant.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
And you would be correct. It is indeed a fruit. It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Yes.
New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
It's personal preference, and it's whatever you want it to be.
Okay, so to each their own.
To each their own, yes. And no shame.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Unfortunately not. And I wish I have.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Once again, where can we find all things Kid Lat on social media?
On Instagram, and unfortunately I have to say this with the underscores again, it's Kid Lat Boy Wonder with underscores in between each word. I'm so sorry. TikTok, Kid Lat Boy Wonder, and then on Facebook, I forgot to mention Joe Wynn on Facebook. So
perfect. And you don't have to go looking for it. You don't have to type it into your Google machine. You don't need to put in all the underscores. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow. And if you're at one of his shows, buy a damn shirt. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, but on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
you got it.
For our very special guest, Kid Lat, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.